Let's talk about the UAW strike, the U.S. economy full of green flags, according to Tom Lee, and American household wealth. Folks, let's get into CPI and inflation real quick. First, one of the things I have to do next time we travel to Vegas is I got to bring my Nailed It t-shirt and my Swing and a Miss shirt, because what I should be wearing right now is a Swing and the Miss shirt. I was wrong pretty much across the board about CPI this morning. I had anticipated headline coming in sub 3.6. I had thought core would be down a little bit more. I was right about shelter inflation rolling over, but not as much as I had hoped. So again, across the board, I was wrong about CPI inflation. But let's get into the numbers. Let's talk about, does this change anything for the Fed meeting next week? So again, when you talk about CPI, there will be four numbers we discuss. There will be headline and core readings year on year, and headline and core readings month on month. So last month, headline was 3.2. The previous month was 3, if you remember. It is now 3.7. So that is a trend, right? One blip could be an outlier. We now have a trend. Now, a lot of that increase is due to gasoline. Gasoline has been up 10.5%. You also had airlines. Airlines are up 4.9%, which is interesting because we also heard from American and Spirit Airlines today that they're cutting profit forecasts because of increased cost, likely fuel and labor. So again, headline came in higher than expected, or at least higher than I expected. The smart folks on Wall Street got it right. They were looking for 3.6 to 3.7, depending on how you were looking at. So they were right. I was wrong. The month-on-month reading was 0.6. That's quite significant. And in the 12-month series, because remember, CPI is kind of 12, roller coaster cars. And that's the highest reading in 12 months. So something to pay attention to. And remember, gasoline being up 10.5%, that is before the U.S. starts to fill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, or SPR. We've got to do that. We can't pull that trick again, so we're going to have to do that. Shelter, where I was right, but not really. I mean, I don't pretend to call this right. I thought this would be down more. Shelter inflation is clearly rolling over. If you look at the charts, it's clear as day to anyone that it's rolling over, but not as much as I had hoped. The good news is it will continue to roll over. The next 3 to 4 months, shelter will continue its downward momentum. So last month, it was up 7.69. This month, up 7.27. So again, a trend in shelter inflation going lower. In fact, it was the lowest reading since November. So pretty significant there. Other thing to note is used cars were actually down 1.2%. Some folks had thought used cars would be up, but yeah, we're down 1.2%. So that is headline. Then there's core. Core did go down. Core is continuing to go down. And remember, for a long time, core, actually most times, core is below headline. So the gap is closing, right? So again, headline was 3.7. Core is now 4.3. Expectations were 4.3, so nailed that. Expectation month on month was 0.2. It came in a little hot at 0.3. So the good news is core is rolling over, right? Core is something that is definitely more in the line of sight for the Fed. The Fed can't do much about oil, right? They're not producers of oil. So that's where we are. So again, shelter has rolled over. Mortgage demand is interesting. Mortgage demand is stalled, but actually up 1% week on week. We are just down at 1996 levels. We are kind of, at the floor, at the support, whatever you want to call that. So at the end of the day, CPI basically in line with the experts, higher than I expected. Again, I want to admit I should be wearing my Swing and a Miss t-shirt, because I like being upfront. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I let you all know about that. So I don't hide from the fact of being wrong. So that's what happened with CPI this morning. I don't think this changes the Fed's decision. I think the Fed's on pause next week. I think it's a hawkish pause. I think all the pauses going forward will be hawkish. I don't see them raising. I haven't changed my opinion. But I got to tell you, headline going up 2 months in a row is something that you and I must pay attention to. Let's get into what do we want to do next? Let's do the U.S. economy. So obviously there are lots of bulls and bears, doomers, and I don't know, what's the opposite of a doomer? I don't know. Everything's roses. I certainly try to live in the middle. Tom Lee, probably the most bullish stock analyst out there, he says the U.S. economy is not full of red flags going to a recession. It is, in fact, full of green flags. Now, I don't know about you. That seems like a stretch given on with what we have going with credit, what we have going on with lots of things. But hey, I'll read the article. I'll see if I'm missing something. So here are the 5 things that Tom Lee says are green flags. Let me know what you think. Number 1, the job market is still strong. I think that's fair. Right? I think the unemployment rate spiking last month from what was it, 3.4 to 3.7, but we added 100 and whatever it was, 70,000 jobs. I think net, the job market is still strong, is fair. However, as somebody who has studied economics a lot, labor is a lagging indicator. So it might be the last thing to feel it. But again, I think it's fair. But it is a lagging indicator. Number 2, inflation expectations are falling. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. I look at the charts. I see inflation expectations falling. I would argue, I would caution, with gasoline up 10% or almost 11%, that could change in a heartbeat. You know, what we saw last month with CPI, again, gas up 10%, is just the beginning. As I shared with Taylor on Monday, right, gasoline going up affects, us immediately, but it rolls through lots of the other components because lots of stuff is shipped in all of those things. So again, I think it's fair to say. I don't know if it will be fair to say in a month, but hey. Number 3, rents are falling. I think that's true. I think rent, certainly disinflation. The last month reading on rent was like 0.2, where last year it was 11. I think rents are soft in multifamily, Class A, all the inventory coming. I think rents are falling. I think that's fair. And I honestly think that trend continues. Oh, so it's doomers and bloomers. I have not heard bloomers before, but I take your word for it. I think I'll look that up. Number 4, this one made me chuckle. This one made me chuckle out loud, which doesn't happen that often. But according to Tom Lee, the number 4 green flag is Janet Yellen feels better about soft landing. Really, Tom? We're now putting Janet Yellen's thoughts on a soft landing is one of the reasons that we have green flags. Okay, I think you're stretching, buddy. I think you were looking for 5, and there you go. Number 5, stock market volatility has fallen. I might argue that's a sign that Wall Street is getting complacent, but hey, okay. So at the end of the day, I personally believe that Tom Lee is, I guess, a bloomer, rose-colored glasses, whatever you want to call it. I think of the 5 that he put out there, only one is one that I would stand behind, and that one was rent is falling. So there you go. How about Gen Z? There was an article written about Gen Z that, oh my goodness, 2 in 5 Gen Zers are working side hustles to save for a housing down payment. So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, is this article supposed to make me feel bad or something? 2 in 5. I don't know what it took for you to buy your first home. but I had to work 7 days a week for almost 3 years. The only days I had off were Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to feel bad. And the fact that you can work side hustles from your phone versus get in your car and travel to somewhere is, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what these articles are supposed to be. 12% of Gen Zers supposedly believe that they will never own a home. I would argue that that is true of many generations. Believe it or not, I think there's a lot of folks out there that believe they will never own a home. Reuters is out talking about no more rate hikes in September. And no cuts before Q2 of 2024. All right, let's talk about American households. Did you know that American households have never been wealthier? Why is that? Well, obviously, we are seeing real estate values at or near all-time highs. We are seeing a stock market at or near all-time highs. What we are basically seeing is asset values minus debt equal the largest or wealthiest on record. That's $154.3 trillion of wealth. Folks, the secret of getting wealthy is owning assets to cash flow that you can hold on to for a decade, right? Getting wealthy is an easy formula. And you've got to hold on for a decade to really see it, but that is pretty interesting. House equity is 44.5 trillion. It is pretty wild. We should talk about credit cards. Credit card balances are now over $1 trillion. $1.03 trillion, with delinquencies up 7.2%. So again, pretty wild to look at all of that. And then finally, it looks like UAW strike is coming. It is now 2 days away. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Will a deal be done in 48 hours? 2, will the government intervene? 3, will they partially strike? What a partial strike is, hey, we're going to strike there and there, but not everywhere. Or come Friday, will all of you UAW workers be on strike, which is something like 130,000 members. So at the end of the day, folks, a lot of stuff going on. Let's talk about my event. The event, the One Rental at a Time event, is booked. About 50 people have already signed up. Thank you. There'll be a link below. $199 general admission, VIP $499. We are about half sold out. About 50% of the tickets, 24 out of the 50 spots for VIP is booked. About 25 or so of the general admission there, so plenty of general admission. Let me remind you, I guess I didn't talk about this yesterday. Where are we hosting this event? We are not hosting it at a casino. We are not hosting it at a hotel. All the casinos and hotels wanted to nickel and dime me, wanted to make this ridiculously expensive. So after exhaustive research and networking with friends in Vegas, we have selected the Blind Center of Las Vegas. We have done that for a couple of reasons. One, they allowed us to use the facility on the weekend where none of their members are there. They actually rent the space out on the weekends to help fund the overhead for the Blind Center. So by us using the facility, we are actually helping them support the folks of Las Vegas. Number 2, they did not nickel and dime me. I have a vision for the event. I want to have wireless mics for the speakers. I want wired mics in the audience because I want the audience to drive the event. Again, I want the audience, via your questions, to be 80% of the entire event. The One Rental at a Time event is going to be like nothing else. There will be very limited PowerPoint. There will be zero selling. When you're in the audience and you see one of the speakers that you want to meet, that you've met on this channel, you're going to go stand in line on the left, on the right or the left side. You're going to get to ask your question. That is what I promised. That is my vision. And unlike the hotels and casinos that wanted to layer, like one casino wanted to charge me $2,500 for each mic. Well, we have to roll it out and this union member and that thing and this and that. 2,500 bucks, $5,000 to put 2 microphones. No, thank you. Second, I wanted to have the event be educational, all of that, but also have a party. We can't forget that this is a celebration of 50,000 subscribers. So again, the facility says, you know what, we can accommodate you. We will set up the room theater style. We will have a break for dinner. We will remove the chairs. We will then bring in and we will help you host a party. Not only are they going to do that, but they have a house band. And I am paying the band, they are called the Broken Spectacles, to perform a 1-hour concert for us. It will start at 8 o'clock. So again, by giving back, it is it's a great feeling to do that. So again, we are going to the Blind Center, 1001 North Bruce Street, if memory serves. There'll be a link below. Next question, hotels. We are off-site. We are off the strip. You will book your favorite hotel if you have points or whatever you have. Feel free to book yours. This is not at a hotel, not at a casino. And the reason they're called the Broken Spectacles, if it's not obvious, is they're blind. All members of the band are blind. Again, this is the Blind Center, so I think it kind of makes sense. So yes, the Broken Spectacles will be performing a 60-minute concert for us at 8 o'clock. And then lastly, the facility has 100 parking spots. So I would personally probably Uber or Lyft it there. But you know, if you want to drive, you can. There'll be some spots there. So at the end of the day, folks, we're still putting together the agenda. I've gotten some people confirmed. Some people I'm still trying to track down. We will start announcing names. My guess is you will be able to figure out most of them, but we will announce it ahead of time once we get confirmation. So again, I'm honestly hoping this sells out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I would love for this just to be done so I could focus on the event. So if you want to come, it is President's Day weekend. It is Saturday and Sunday. We are going all day Saturday, including a party. We're going to go all day Sunday. It's President's Day weekend, so hopefully you can fly out Monday, so it's not a rush because Monday is a holiday. So hopefully that is, hopefully you can make it. I hope to see you guys there. I hope to take lots of pictures. Bring your books. We'll autograph some books. If you have my second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires, I know Jason Pritchard will be there, and he is one of those chapters. There may be some other members as well. So, folks, at the end of the day, I was wrong about inflation. It was hotter than expected. Shelter has rollen over, but not as much. We will see what comes forward. I'm looking forward to the event. Please sign up quick just to have this thing be sold out. That would be wonderful. Folks, keep being awesome. Take care of yourself.